Please.
538 Nashville's Morning News on Super Talk 89.7 WTN. Number of things going on this morning. By the way, so many folks out there, Joan and Jeff Malinoff producing today. Glad to hear that I'm on the air today. Apparently I did not get fired after yesterday's 7:35. That's good.
All in due time.
Listen, I want to be able to write my memoir, Fired by Zoom, a radio memoir.
I think you could do
Fired by Zoom.
A radio memoir.
No, not even over the phone. You need it by Zoom call.
I need it by Zoom call. That's exactly right.
The future of firings.
Will you quote Johnny in this?
No.
Okay.
Moving right along. Hey, so people asking me about that comment I made about Anna Paulina Luna.
There you go. You got it.
And about what I said about her in a bikini.
Yeah.
So just so people know, we talked about this earlier. I mean, way earlier. Not surprisingly, Ken and Johnny and I were talking about this, where she came out with some photos, and it was a photo. She was in, like, I think it was a bikini.
She was.
I mean, she's like hot with two T's. I'm just going to tell you. Mm-hmm. And so we talked about that a little bit. You know, being the eighth graders that we are. And so that's what I meant by that. If you want to make your morning, go Google Anna Paulina Luna bathing suit.
I think
photos.
I'd get in trouble if I put that in our work company's computer.
Yeah, probably avoid that. So anyway, and why are people? What did you name, Jeff? The
title?
The title of our video.
Well, I was thinking, since you're in the morning, you're always here before I am. You're ready to go. I'm like, Dan doesn't fall asleep. He just recharges. He's just ready to go at all times. And then someone was like, is that mean this is a solar based, like, Dan? And I'm like, no, Elon made him. Elon created him. And that's the most profitable solution to that. I think that's a compliment.
I go into the chat line. I'm back on it. 2008, Jeff is responding saying, Dan is a robot that Elon has made.
Yes.
KGB.
He's not solar. You're not solar. I was defending you from that.
Can we all be honest? If I were a robot, I'd be a lot better than I am. Like, they could totally use AI and make me like a better talk show host that actually makes more sense. By the way, we're talking about what Tucker Carlson said. And for folks that are just joining us, this is what Tucker said about child prostitutes on construction sites.
So if you go to any construction site in the big construction site, they're building a data center or a mall. I know this because I know a guy who in the business just told me this. Anyone in the United States, there will be child prostitutes there from Latin America brought in by the cartels for the guys on the cruise. And I said, does everyone know this? He said, well, everyone knows it. I mean, it's just a fact. Every big construction site in the United States. Does anyone ever do anything about it? No, no one ever does anything about it.
Wait till January 21st.
I don't understand that, though.
No,
if everyone in the building trades knows that, how can law enforcement ignore it?
I mean, that's Tucker and Tom Homan, and Homan didn't deny it, but he also didn't confirm it.
I have a good half dozen texts from guys in construction, like around the area, saying that's not true. Like, they see some people, maybe underage people working, like cleaning up like drywall and stuff. I got that a couple of times, but nothing about the child prostitution thing. Everyone says that's wrong. I can give you examples. Hold on.
Well, let's see here. Another guy says, 1303. Yes, it is true, Dan. It is stealth. I have noticed that Americans just don't pay attention. They are rushed. He says, I think I noticed it at Cool Springs Mall because I walk there almost every day. Just certain things I observed, but not plainly obvious.
Well,
if this is going on, I mean, it needs to stop.
5021 says, I'm a pipe filter. I've been in the construction business for 24 years. I've never heard of a child prostitution thing. And then I think there was another one. Let me see if I can find it that had, like, again, someone that's worked in this for a long time.
4462 says, I've been on a large construction project for 4 years, and there have been no child sex activities on this site. Tucker should not make such disgraceful blanket statements.
Yeah.
I was shocked by that. I'm just going to tell you, I was shocked by that. And here's the thing. You can't and Lord help me, friends, I'm not bashing on Tucker Carlson, so don't start yelling at me. But it's been a bad week. But if you're going to bring that kind of a claim, you got to bring receipts.
Yes,
you can't just say
yes.
it's a fact. He just said it's a fact, apparently, and then that's all we go on. Like that's Democrat talk there. It's just a fact, and just leave it alone.
Here's another one, 7194. Been in heavy industrial construction the past 6 years. He says, never have I heard that about the cartels. He says, I've never worked around a... Moving right along. Anyway.
Wait, what's the number? I just want to see
7194.
I'm reading it too.
There's just some things I don't want to... Yeah. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Joan, we're both, I'm a recovered journalist, but there's still some journalism within what I do. But I'm a talk show host, but you are a journalist, and I don't know, the whole thing, it feels a little weird.
It smells weird to me because there's just no way that could exist. There are a lot of really good, hardworking American guys out there on these sites that would never allow this to happen. And if it did happen, they'd blow the whistle on it. I'm convinced that Americans are good, solid people, and something like this would really wreck anybody who's out there. Those guys have daughters too. So there's no way that they would allow this. I'm
know
not
what, Joan?
convinced.
That is a great point. Where it's like if Tucker says everybody knows this,
yeah.
Well, then what he's saying is that there's a bunch of people on construction sites that are approving of child sex trafficking. So
I listen to Tucker all the time. He also had this guy, I don't know if you've heard of him, Jeffrey Sachs.
Yeah.
So the title of it was The Inevitable War with Iran. This guy was so anti-Semitic, and Tucker never questioned him in this interview with him. And so sometimes Tucker does things like that, and like this thing with young prostitutes on the scene that I'd wonder if he puts it out there just to start poking the bear.
Well, it seems kind of silly to do that because I think when you do that, you are destroying your own credibility.
Yeah.
I mean, if somebody was on my show and they started spewing anti-Semitic crap, I would absolutely call them out right away. Or if they started saying a bunch of racist stuff, I would call them out because I don't want to allow that.
You should.
Yeah. I mean, that's being a decent human being.
Yeah.
And so, I don't.
Some of Tucker's calls I question. So.
Oh Lord, I've had phone callers say stuff, and I've had to dress them down, and I hate doing that.
Oh yeah.
There's nothing worse as a talk show host.
Yeah.
Where somebody calls up and says, "Hey, I love your show, and you're great, and this, that, and the other," and then they say something that I'm so opposed to. If they might drop down something racist or something, and I'm like, I hate to dress people down. I just don't like to do that. But it's like, no, I can't let that go.
Yeah.
And that's happened on Red Eye Radio a few times. That's happened here a couple of different times. And so, if you're Tucker and somebody says anti-Semitic stuff, you gotta call that out clearly.
So if you're so quick to call people out for stuff like that, why didn't you call me out when I got my time wrong? You've got Andy Ogles at 6:05.
6:05, not 6:35.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
my
what?
Bad.
Well, I blamed it on Malinoff.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, I'm the youngest of three boys. I was blamed for everything. I'm just used to it now.
This is not a problem.
Yeah.
This is not a problem. You could just take the fall for everyone.
Yeah.
It's actually a very good trait to have on this show.
Hey, can I ask
Just anything that goes wrong, it's my fault, which is fair.
You know what?
You got longevity. She's got the news. I got the blame.
There you go. That actually works. All right, real quick. Joan.
Yes, sir.
So Washington, D.C., of course, is about to melt down because it's about to shut down. But everybody knows that the government itself, if it, and I'm going to use this air quotes, shuts down. But we still function. And this is not as apoplectic or, as bad as people make it out to be. The government still operates. And the government employees that don't get their paychecks, they ultimately end up getting their paychecks. They're
Plus some.
Plus some. Oh, did they get plus some?
In some cases, yes. Yes.
Like an
So-
inconvenience fee?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and plus their benefits never go away,
Right.
you know? So the whole, and what they do is they kick their feet up on the desk, take a vacation. They're not sitting around going, oh no. It's a bad time. They're fine. They're just fine.
So here's what they have in this bill that was torpedoed by Elon Musk, Donald Trump.
This is so interesting.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Elon with one tweet, with one post on X, he torpedoed the whole thing.
Yeah.
But members of Congress would be allowed their first pay raise since 2009. That was one of them. They talk about how, and I don't even know what this is, but they say that they are no longer going to be calling homeless adults and children homeless.
Oh, they haven't been doing that for a while. They're
What is that,
unhoused.
Probably my
Unhoused?
fault also.
They're unhoused.
But how much does that cost? Like, why do they?
Well, now they have to go back into everything that's been printed and anything that's online. They have
This
to
is
hire
dumb.
people to scrub the online references to homeless and change all of it. Oh, yeah. It's
And there's also something for the Washington Commanders having a stadium.
Yeah, they
Where does that come from? Where does the NFL come from to get into a bill from the government? Like, that's crazy.
Well, I
Like,
think
I understand voting in like local
I can
elections.
tell you
That's
what
one thing.
No, I
But
can tell you what that's all about.
Yeah, Joan's got it because I know what it's about too. Go, Joan.
Yeah, Mayor Bowser of Washington, D.C. wants it to stay in Washington, D.C. But the Commanders want to move it out to Virginia or even to a site in Maryland where there's less traffic, there's less politics, and this is an assist for Mayor Bowser.
She needs to go back to Sha-Na-Na where she belongs.
Yeah.
Well, funny enough, the FedEx Field, wherever the field is called for Washington Place now, is actually the worst in football. They actually have like massive sewage leaks in every game. Like, it's bad. Like, they need a new one, but not where this is why like a lot of these bills happen in local government because they're the ones paying for it. But it sounds like if they built this, that's the entire country's taxes will pay for it. If is that what it would be?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So why does everyone have to pay for the above average football team stadium instead of the local elections where it's happening every single time?
I'm so pissed off that they took away the Redskins.
Yep.
Yeah.
That they need it now. There's a little bit of a movement to bring that back, right? The Redskins.
They're bringing it back so that when they do like retro uniforms, they can be the Redskins again. They're doing that for that purpose. I don't think they'll make it official to change the name. I think they'll eventually change the name because Commanders was a terrible name in the first place by the original owner, Dan Snyder. He did that as a little like, I'm going to name them something terrible so everyone hates it because he was kind of spiteful.
Yeah.
So
Why
I
don't they
think
just
they'll
bring back the Redskins though? Like, is this going to
Because
be the
they'll-
kind of thing? Who cares what white liberals think? That's the thing that pisses me
here's
off.
the thing.
Who
It's the
cares?
NFL commissioner that's going to make that decision.
Well, then
if they're going to change
white
it,
liberal.
He probably is, and he's worth hundreds of millions of dollars. But here's the thing: if they're going to change it, and I want the red name to be in there. Red Wolves would have been the perfect name because that was also, I believe, a plane during wartime. It was just a Red Wolves. Like, they can easily just make that change and it would work. But they made
That
it
was
Commanders.
not one of the options that the people of Washington, D.C. and the surrounding areas had options on which names they wanted to change
I thought
it to.
Red Wolves was one of them, no? I have to
don't
look.
know. I could
But
be wrong.
Commanders was not, I guarantee you that was not what the decision of the people made. That was the worst of the choices.
Yeah.
That's a stupid name.
They also want a continuation of the Wool Trust Fund until 2025.
Yeah, I have the definite. I have what it is here.
What
have
is
you
it?
ever heard? So
No.
the Wool Research Development and Promotion Trust Fund, as authorized by the United States Congress in 2000, provides grants to a national recognized council established for the development of the United States wool market. The purpose of the Wool Trust Fund is to assist United States wool producers in improving the quality of wool and providing and assisting producers in the development of promotion of the wool market. The American Sheep Industry Association represents the nationally recognized council, and the funds are received into the Wool Trust Foundation. ASI, which is the sheep, whatever, receives approximately $2 million annually to fund activities under this program.
All right.
It's wool. Like, they're acting like this is such a huge thing, but whatever. What do I know? I'm the one I'm the problem in this entire country, apparently. It's my fault. I'm like, why stop at the radio station? It's the country.
Did anybody get my joke? I'm going to go back about 4 minutes. Did anybody get my joke about Mayor Bowser and Sha-Na-Na? Did anybody get that joke?
It's
Over my head.
It was over.
Oh,
It's because you're so young.
He's so young.
He's so young. But did you get my joke, Joan?
Of course.
I
yeah.
was very proud of that. Did anybody on the super text line say, "Hey, Mandis, that was a pretty funny joke you slid in there"? Bowser, Sha Na Na. Listen,
Well,
if you're
maybe do a Mario reference next time for me. That would have made more sense.
listen,
no.
if you're like if you're over 70, that joke was radio gold.
I don't think you have to be over
Going after
70.
the-
You and I both got it. We're not over 70.
No, but
Going
we're
after
getting
the
there.
right market there.
Yes. All right, so Andy Ogles is coming up at 6:05 here on Nashville's Morning News on Super Talking to talk about that and a whole lot more. It is 5:52 on Nashville's Morning News. Joan Jones has the news at 6. Joan, go.
Oh, Republicans shot it down, but what are they doing to scrap together a new plan to keep the government funded? We have some answers for you. Also, the city of Columbia's got some new tools to save lives in an emergency. We've got those stories at 6 o'clock on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.